everybody. Looks like I got some people there. 7 people already. Oh my goodness. I've been lazy today, y'all. I worked in the garden.
The reason I went
Oh,
to
no,
movie
no,
that
no,
in
no,
the
no,
first place is because
no. I forgot to turn the sound off. You know, I always forget something. Even in my videos, I forget something. Never fails. Let me get down to my chat. We got Shatika, Frida, Cindy Davis. Well, we got three people in chat already. We got 7 people watching. 6 thumbs up. How's everybody doing today? And there's Donna and Dennis. Frida. Patty. Hello, Patty. Paula. It's a balmy 64 degrees today, y'all. It's like summer outside. It's a bright, sunshiny day, and the fur babies are loving it. They're both outside enjoying the sunshine. They went out right after their breakfast this morning, and they did not want to come back in. I don't blame them. I'd rather be outside too. But I did a lot yesterday in the house and in the garden. And I'll show you in the video I'm going to do that I'll probably post tomorrow. You'll get to see what I did. I'm doing great, Patty. How are you? Today's my lazy day. That's one reason I didn't mind doing that Hunter's chicken yesterday. That way I didn't have to cook today. I just heated it up. I heated part of it up. I still got another big bowl of it. Well, great, Patty. I tell you, I'm falling behind in my garden because of the freezing temperatures we had this past week. There was so much I had planned to do and seeds I wanted to get started that I didn't get to do because there was ice outside. The ground was frozen. And there's Wilson. Hi, Wilson. Sing? Who's going to sing? I wasn't counting on singing today. I don't have anything set up to sing. I might do another surprise live where I sing for you. I don't know. I don't have my karaoke machine set up. I don't have any of the music here or anything to sing today. You were watching Doctor Who? There was one show about that young doctor that he was such a genius when it come to medical stuff. I think it was just Doctor, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know. Is that the Doctor Who you're talking about? He was just so intelligent, and everybody else might get everything wrong, but he could walk in and take a look at the patient almost and tell you exactly what the problem was and how to fix it. Here on YouTube. I'm not even buying chicken feet to cook, so I'll never have chicken feet. I do too. I watch a lot of movies on YouTube. Usually, if I'm watching a movie, if I get time to watch a movie, it's one of the movies on YouTube. The Good Doctor, yeah. No, he is a Time Lord from the BBC. What? Yeah, I like that too, Donna. 48 hours. And I like the criminal crime videos, the real life stuff. I like the Karen videos, you can tell I was outside yesterday and I had mask on too, but I was digging in the dirt. So I know even though I had a mask on, I was still breathing some of it. Dennis likes Benny Hill from BBC. Hi, Edith. How is Edith doing today? I got one of the little raised beds set up, or almost set up. I put wood, leaves, cardboard, some of my topsoil that I've got in it, but I still need to put another inch or two of some other kind of dirt on the top to plant seed in. I was hoping it was going to rain good last night, and we did get a little bit, just enough to get the ground wet, but not enough to settle down that raised bed like I wanted it to. I'm experimenting with it. I want to plant cucumbers in it, I think, because I've got like a soft trellis that I'm going to put up between stakes to trellis my vines on this year instead of in the buckets like I had. No, I'm not cooking chicken feet, Wilson. Chicken feet do not even appeal to me. I got potatoes planted yesterday. And I'll show y'all that in a video because I'm doing them a little bit different this year than last year. I'm just trying it to see how it works. But I don't want to tell you all of it and then give away the video. That's what I say, Edith. Oh my, chicken feet. Wilson can have all the chicken feet they sell in the whole world. Wonder where Gladys is today. Yeah, me too, Dennis. I haven't opened that book in so many years. It was amazing what I was finding in there. But there's like I forgot how many. There's more than 300 recipes in this little book. And they're all especially for the original Crockpot slow cooker, which I've got the original Crockpot, the very first one that they ever sold. And somebody was telling me that the first ones that came out had lead in the glaze that they glazed over the ceramic pot inside. But I did some research on it, and it doesn't say anything about lead being in the rival ones. There was another brand, I think, that might have had it, but they all passed the, what is it, FDA regulations, so they shouldn't hurt you anyway. Well, I had that pot when I came to Texas, so I've had it for a long time. We moved to Texas in 1978. So it had to be in the early 70s that I bought it. Around, like I said, 75, I think, is when I got it. It was about the year my son was born, I think. It's a lot better. I mean, my hands are stiff, but they don't hurt. The warmer weather helps. It's when it gets cold and damp that my hands, my joints start aching a little bit. But usually I can take ibuprofen and that fixes it up. Wilson was in the 6th grade in 1978. Well, my son was about 3 years old in 1978 because he was born in 1975, May of 1975. So I think that makes him, he's going to turn 50 this summer in May, if I'm not badly mistaken. I lose track of my kids' age because it just don't seem like I should have children that age, you know? If you're over 50, you're full of lead anyway. Well, I didn't use it a whole lot in the beginning when I bought it. I used it a couple of times, and then every once in a while I'd bring it out. I think I've used it more this year than I've ever used it. And I plan to go through all 300 of those recipes or more. And one of my subscribers that seen the video said they ordered that same cookbook, and they ordered the insert, the cake and bread pan that inserts inside it. They ordered both of those from Amazon. But I didn't know if any place, there was any place around as old as that Crockpot was that you could even order it from. So I told them I didn't know. But they said back then, when those Crockpots first came out with that the bread and cake bake pan, that some people that didn't have the pan, the insert, would use a 2-quart vegetable can or coffee can. Because, coffee used to come in a metal can. Today it's in plastic or it's in paper, cardboard. But years ago, especially like Louisiana coffee, it was in a coffee can, a red can with yellow and black on it. But I read in the instructions on the book, on that liner, that if you did not have the insert to put in there to bake the cake or the bread, to get a 2-quart metal can like the one that the coffee used to be sold in. And I know today you can still get the big cans of like beans, pickles, and stuff like that in the big can. I don't remember exactly what size they are. That might be too big, I don't know. But it's got to be a small enough can that will fit down in there, and you can put your Crockpot lid on, and it's got plenty of room in there. And what they used to do, if they used the can, they covered the can itself with aluminum foil real snug, and then put it down in the Crockpot and put the Crockpot lid on top of it. Well, thank you. It's just like I brushed it out when I got out of the shower earlier. It's almost completely dry. The Crockpot was used like a punch bowl. We're seldom in. Yeah. Back when I got mine, the most popular thing to use the Crockpot for was cheese dip. You put that whole block of Velveeta cheese in it, which is what, a 2 or 3 pound block of cheese. And you put your can of Rotel chilies and tomato sauce in there. And turn it on low and let it all melt down and mix together. And that made your party dip. Well, that's what people fixed at Super Bowl day. You know, they fix a crock pot full of cheese dip, and that was one of the condiments they put around for people to eat watching the ball game. Well, I just cut about 3 or 4 inches off of it because my hair was getting way too long. Beef tripe and lard. I'm not cooking that. You'll cook all you want, Wilson. Patty C said she always gets hungry when she watches my lives because we talk about food all the time. You watching my videos? You're watching me prepare food. You come into my live and we're talking about it. Well, my own family hardly ever come by here. My son works all the time. My daughter's too busy. My family's mostly in North Carolina or Arizona. And I found out, I didn't realize it, but I got to thinking about it. In Tucson, Arizona, where my brother moved to, my oldest brother, is just as far from here as it is from here to driving to North Carolina on the East Coast where I'm from. Because Texas is a big state. Hog head cheese and pork neck bones and rice. I don't think so, Wilson. Well, you know, I started out just doing in my garden and trying to cook a few things out of the garden. I never really intended to go as full force as I have on cooking videos. But I've gotten such a good response from all my cooking videos that it encourages you to do more. But I'm still doing my garden because that's what my channel started out. I mean, it started out as being lady in the garden, growing and, you know, composting in place, cooking what you grow, crafts, or anything I decide I want to put on here is what my channel's about. But it was mostly gardening, composting in place, cooking what you grow, and that type of thing. And now it's led into almost a cooking show. Well, thank you, Patty C. And there's Marveline. Hi from Central Alabama. Well, welcome, Marveline from Central Alabama. How about growing marijuana? I'm not, no, thank you, Wilson. I'm not growing anything like that. And I've always been afraid somebody would slip in my garden and plant something like that just to try to get me in trouble. That was scary in the beginning because I had some people that around that would have done something like that, and I was so scared that that was going to happen. I said I can just see somebody planting one of those marijuana plants in my vegetable garden and then calling the law and say, you need to check that woman's garden and see what she's growing in it, because she's growing something she shouldn't be growing. And that was scary, you know. I didn't know if I should do my gardening show or not. But no, I don't grow anything like that. The herbs I grow is sage, rosemary, cilantro, peppermint, parsley. That happened on the episode of Sanford and Son. Yeah, I could just see that happening. I hope nobody ever dislikes me bad enough to do something like that. It makes me think of that old woman. She was a real elderly woman, and she had, I don't know if it was arthritis or what, but she was in pain so much all the time. And she went to a doctor. Some of her family took her to a doctor in Mexico. And he didn't give her a prescription, not where he wrote it out and gave it to her. He come in there and gave her a little jar, and it had what it looked like seeds in it. And he handed it to her, and he said, take these home and plant them in your backyard, and you'll have all the pain medicine you need. Well, she did, and she was using it, and she was getting along fine, no pain, she was feeling great. And then I guess somebody turned her in or said you need to check her backyard. And the poor old elderly woman was arrested for growing marijuana in her backyard, and that was several years ago. Grady called it Mexican parsley. Well, they started out where the doctors could write a prescription if you needed that, and it was legal to have it. And to my understanding, it's legal to have it now regardless, but I still don't want to grow it. Oh, it is. One of the seniors living there grew a marijuana plant in the toilet and kicked her out. Oh my. And they probably didn't even know what they were growing. But I can understand them letting you have it if you're in severe pain and nothing the doctor gives you helps, but that will help, say a marijuana will help, then more power to you. That's not like using it, getting high and getting out there hurting somebody or driving intoxicated with marijuana and killing somebody. Oh, she knew it, huh? Oh my goodness. Well, she could probably get away with growing it now. I don't know. From what I understand, there's some states where it's perfectly legal. I don't know if it's legal in Texas or not, but regardless, I don't want to grow it. I have no desire to grow it. That's funny. And she would try and sell them to other seniors. I guess she figured at her age it didn't matter, Yeah, that's what I say, Dennis. I'll stick with my ibuprofen. But I mean, my sister-in-law died because of pain. She was in so much pain, she was in agony. And I mean, it was day and night, 24/7. The doctors would give her all kind of medication. None of it worked. The only one that relieved the pain was one of the medicines that she'd taken. It would just knock her out, and she was asleep. So she didn't know if she was hurting or not. She was asleep. Well, you don't want to sleep your life away. But when she was awake, she was in agonizing pain. And I'll tell you what, if that would have helped her, I'd have gladly given it to her. But I don't know if it would have. If you have a small amount in San Antonio, you won't go to jail. Well, what's this all about that it's supposed to be legal now? I guess it's just some states. I don't know about Texas. But regardless, I don't want it. Well, I've been growing regular basil, and I bought some holy basil seed this year. And I'm going to try to get some of those plants started. To my understanding, the holy basil is the good basil to make a basil tea with, not just the regular basil. So I'm hoping I can get some of it growing so I can drink some holy basil tea. I've got so many seeds. If I could get them all started, I'd have to fill up my whole 3 lots with plants. There's no way I can plant all of it. So I've got to pick out the ones I want to grow the most. Back in the 70s, you smoked a lot, Edith? I was always allergic to cigarettes, so... And I'm sure I'm allergic to the weed, too, so... I don't smoke at all, and I can't be around anybody that's smoking anything. Anything Dennis grows is holy because it's all the bugs. Well, when I took my son to a concert for his Christmas when he was 14, we went to see Metallica. That was his favorite band, Metallica. And we were like up on the second row, above people. And then there was people above us. And the people down below evidently were smoking joints of marijuana or something. And it was coming up through the seats up where we were. And just me breathing that stuff in the air, oh my God, I couldn't even walk when we left there. The people I was with had to hold me by the arm and help me down the stairs because I'm allergic to all that kind of stuff. I'm surprised it didn't end up putting me in the hospital. I said, well, that was my first and last concert like that I ever want to go to. No, it wasn't. That was the second one. I went to the Cotton Bowl and to see that Texas Jam years ago, many years ago. And my God, you could smell that stuff 3 blocks from the Cotton Bowl. Just walking to get there, you could smell it in the air. And when we went in, the way the seats were, of course, you didn't have anybody like directly under you. So if they were smoking, it would come right up in your face. There, it was different. It was all open. And it was like, it was on steps, but you didn't have anybody sitting directly under you. So, and you could look around and everybody was smoking it and they were passing the joints up and down the rows. And when it come to me, I just passed it on. It's like, no, I don't think so. And I was amazed. I mean, I was in awe. Everybody in there was doing it. And the guy I was with, I said, I can't believe that they're doing this. And the cops are right there walking around. He said, the cops know it. They see them. They can't do anything about it. They're outnumbered. He said, could you imagine what would happen if those cops tried to arrest anybody for smoking the marijuana in here? He said it would be a total riot and the cops would lose. So unless anything broke out to where a big fight or something like that, they just kind of lay back and leave people alone. But I was amazed at that. I'd never experienced that before. Don't want to again. What are we talking about? Well, I think Wilson was the first one to mention growing marijuana or something about it. And then the conversation just took off from there. Your ex was a dealer back in the day? Oh, my goodness. Well, see, the small town I was from, when I was a teenager, there was nothing like that going on. The worst thing that the teenagers did back then was slip a beer somewhere on the weekend, I don't know how they got it, but that was the big deal back then. Getting hold of a case, not a case of beer, a 6-pack. You got in real bad trouble if you got caught with that. And you were a minor. Legal in all 50 states. Well, it's not legal in my state right here. Not right here in my little state. It's not legal because I don't want it. I'm allergic to everything like that. Hi, Jana. How's Jana doing today? And I've watched so many of these videos on the crime videos where, I mean, and this just recently happened, a lot of this stuff, like hours before it appeared on video, where cops go in to check on people because the neighbors have called them in and they're passed out on some kind of drugs. And this one couple was passed out in the floor, dead to the world, and their little infant underneath them. And when the cops got there, they finally got them to come to and ask them if they were all right. And they didn't even know they were laying on top of their child. They suffocated their child. I said, how bad is that? To take or smoke something that just makes you lose your mind to where you don't know what you're doing. You pass out. You don't even know where your kids are or what they're doing or if they're right underneath you. Oh, me too, Jana. I'm loving today. It's 65 degrees right now. The sun has been out bright and shiny. All the ice is melted. The two fur babies are outside, loving the sunshine today. They don't want to come inside. It's too nice for them. They were cooped up for the last few days. They're ready to get out. Yeah, I watch some of that kind of stuff on these crime videos, and it disgusts me so bad I don't even want to watch them. Well, I don't have my AC on, but my heat is off. And the heat is off in the greenhouse because there's no need for it to be on today. And it's not going to freeze tonight either. I don't remember what the temperature was going to be. I smell of weed pot. What? But we didn't get enough rain last night. We just got a little dampness, and that was basically it. The high today is going to be 66. It's going to get 1 degree. It hit 66 right now. I don't know what it's supposed to get down to tonight. But when I checked the 5-day forecast yesterday, or the 10-day forecast, there was not another freezing temperature in about 10 days. And that was all they showed me, so I don't know what's going to take place after that. It was 41 degrees last night. It'll be 35 tonight, but that's not freezing. And no, that's tonight. It's 66 today. The high will be 75 tomorrow. The low for Monday night is 42. Tuesday night, it's 51 at night, 79 during the day. So it's going to be right at 70s for like the next week or so. And it'll be in the 40s and 50s at night. Thursday night, it'll be 37, but it may not even get that low, so we'll see. But there's so much I wanted to get done in my garden, and I couldn't because of the freezing cold for so many days. We had a little shower during the night, but like I said, it was just enough to dampen the ground. It didn't get wet. It just dampened everything. My text, we had rain this morning. Oh, my father, he struck my face hard with his fist when I wouldn't understand my arithmetic. Oh, he would get beat red and punch me. Oh, it hurt, but made me learn my work. Oh, my goodness, that was awful, Edith. I mean, I believe in disciplining a child, but you don't punch them in the face because they didn't get their arithmetic right or you don't understand it. My daughter took algebra one year, and the poor thing, she didn't understand it. And I was always pretty good with algebra, and I tried to explain it to her, but still she didn't understand. She didn't understand the principle of putting a letter in a spot instead of a number. Like, they could give you a, well, I don't know how to explain it. Like if you had 3/4, what is the left out number? And they'd have a 4 with a line and a number up there. What was what was the letter? And she didn't understand. Well, why don't they just put it up there? Why did they put the letter and you got to try to figure out what it is? I said, because that's how the math works. That's how fractions work. Like if you're going to divide up a pie into 4 pieces, somebody eats one and you got 3 pieces left. What is that in a fraction if you have to write a fraction of how much pie you have left? And she couldn't understand that. Well, naturally, I know it would be 3/4. If you had the whole pie and it's cut in 4 pieces, it'd be 4/4, right? But she didn't understand the principle behind using the letter. Oh my God, erudition. We were just talking, Chill. I was commenting on Edith's statement about her dad being mean to her if she didn't understand her math. Hi, Ann. How's Ann doing? And there's MT. How's MT doing today? And there's Life with Pip and Tyne. Math was my worst subject. I think it was one of my best. I guess that's why I didn't hesitate to go into computer science programming and all that, because it's a lot of math and statistics and stuff like that. Well, I was that way about English. I don't know if they still do it or not. But back when I was learning English, they had such a thing as putting sentences on a diagram. I mean, you literally drew lines and put words of the sentence on a diagram. And to this day, I still don't understand it. I was like my daughter with math when it come to the English, putting sentences on a diagram. I didn't see any sense in doing that. I mean, to me, it made no sense at all. Why they'd even think about doing it. I loved history, and I liked English, but when it come to putting sentences on a diagram, it just blew my mind. I said, there's no sense in this. Like I said, it's the same way my daughter thought about algebra with fractions, Why put letters in a spot like b over 4, and you got to figure out what the b is. She didn't see any sense in doing that. Why don't they just put the number there? Why do they put the letter there? And I tried to explain to her. I said, well, it's because they don't know what the number is to go there. So they improvise with putting a letter, and then you got to figure out what the number is. It's like it made no sense to her. MT said lunch was my favorite subject. I don't know what all that is. What about phone math and V-sped math? I don't know what that is. I mean, I took a course in bookkeeping, and I got my CPA certificate with it. All that kind of stuff I understood. We heard it rain dry. We heard it ran dry. Dennis hated everything about school except recess. I was never in special ed class. I substituted for special ed classes before, but I was never actually in one when I was going to school. And there's Spencer Love. Hello, Spencer. How is Spencer doing today? We're just chit-chatting, having a good time here. You took bookkeeping. Well, I took a college class in bookkeeping. And I thought it was interesting. I got it all right. I mean, I think I made like an A in the class for the whole term. But you had to take that to go with your business degree, because I majored in computer science, which was programming, computer science, information systems, and then general business. So the bookkeeping class went with the business degree. Working with numbers workbook. Patty C said, I love science, reading, and English. Well, I like science okay, except for when it comes to dissecting dead things. I didn't get into dissecting dead things, like big fat worms and frogs. I could do without that. So I knew I would never be a medical surgeon or anything like that, because I couldn't deal with that. And I definitely wouldn't want to be a mortician. I was awful at school, but I spent most of the time talking with the girls and flirting with the boys. That is so real, Edith. I bet you're laughing right now. I like economics too, because I like the cooking and sewing and all that kind of stuff that went with it. When I took that class in high school, the girls that were in that class made dresses, and we got to model them for the whole school. Well, they picked the 10 best ones out of the whole, the class for the whole day, because, each period had a different class. They picked 10 girls, I guess like one girl out of each class for the day. And they got to model their dress in front of the whole school in the auditorium. We got to walk across the stage and be like a real model and show off our dress. And I was one of them, because I made 2 dresses, a pink one and a blue one. And I think I did a fantastic job. Live stream brings good memories. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh, see, I couldn't do that. Dissecting a cat. Oh my God. Ooh. I could never be a surgeon or anything like that, I don't think. I mean, the desire to be a doctor or a nurse or a surgeon or any of that never appealed to me. Although I do treat myself a lot, but I don't do surgery on myself. Frida's back. Yeah, that would be kind of gross. Dissecting a cat in nursing school. But I guess you got to be able to do stuff like that. You got to know a lot of medical stuff and parts of the body and all that good stuff. Patty said, me either, no dissecting. The only dissecting I do is swatting a bug with a fly swatter, stomping on him if he's annoying me or getting in my territory. Okay, I decided I was going to give some more seeds away today. In that Hunter's Chicken Crockpot recipe or video, I said there was another name for Hunter's Chicken. That was something that people used to call it. Does anybody remember? Or did you pay attention and hear it in the video? I know sometimes, and I'm guilty of it too, I'll watch a video and I might not pay attention to every little word that's said. You did not get your seeds? When was I supposed to mail them, Jana? You should have gotten them. I just sent some more out in the mail, but I think that was to Tamara. I don't remember when I mailed those to you, Jana. How long ago was it that I mailed them? It's a 1969, William. During the drawing? What, when I gave away the prize for getting people's name in that pot? Is that what you're talking about? That's been a while ago. You should have got seeds. I'll check on it. I'll check back in my book and see when that was. I don't remember. February 6th is when it was. I know now. February 6th. Yeah, you should have got those a long time ago. No, it wasn't cowboy chicken. It wasn't mushrooms. Wasn't French. Years ago, how that dish started was people traveling or hunters out camping and hunting, bringing meat to the table for themselves and their family. And they may have stayed out overnight. And they started that dish with game meat, anything they were able to hunt and catch on that hunting trip. They'd get hungry and build a campfire, and they cooked that dish with whatever game meat they brought in. It wasn't chicken, it was a game meat. And that's how that dish got started. They had tomatoes, and they picked up mushrooms on the way to where they were going hunting, and they used whatever they had on hand. They put it in a pot, and they came up with Hunter's chicken. Or Hunter's stew. But in the crock pot, it's called Hunter's chicken. But they called it something else, too. And I did mention it in the video. It wasn't French. I was thinking it would be too hard a question, because I know sometimes I don't listen to every little word that's said in the video. And even if I listen, it doesn't really soak in. So if you ask me later what was said, I couldn't tell you. Nobody knows. Yeah, but what did I say? What did I say they called it? What did I say they had another name for Hunter's chicken? My house is definitely lived in. My parents' house was definitely lived in. It was a 2-story big house, but it was lived in. Not a camp dish. I've got two. I've got a girl, Margaret, and she's the oldest, and then I've got my son, Chad. But they're both married, and they live in different towns. No, not wild. Y'all are guessing. Not chuck wagon stew. All right, I'll have to throw that question out, but I'll tell you the answer. It was called beggar's chicken or beggar's stew because they didn't, it was a cheap dish to put together with not tons of expensive ingredients. And 9 times out of 10, when they were out hunting, they had some kind of whiskey with them. And you know that went in the pot. Well, we'll put a little bit of this, and to make it taste real good, we'll put some of this whiskey in there. Maybe they had sherry, maybe they had wine, I don't know. But it was a French dish. So being French, they may have had sherry or wine or something that they had, and they ended up putting it in there. But it was beggars, Beggars, beggars. Like poor people, beggars. I'm going to have to come up with another question, aren't I? No, it wasn't cowboy candy. They called it beggar's stew or beggar's chicken. I'll beg for that whiskey. Yeah, the recipe called for, I think it was dry sherry that went in it. Let me see. I don't think it was much that they put in there. One-fourth cup of dry sherry. And instead of putting sherry, because I don't have alcohol at the house, I put a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar is what I put in it. And you could probably put any type of seasoning in it instead of sherry if you wanted. Just depends on who's making it. But it's pretty good. I ate a dish of it before I started my live. Margaret's your middle name, Patty? Well, it's actually my daughter's middle name, too. I named her Linda Margaret and then her last name, but we always called her Margaret. And I wish many a time I had never named her with my name, Linda, because whenever she gets mail from somewhere, companies and places like that, it was always addressed to Linda with her last name. And they were always getting her confused with me. And if I had it to change and do over, I would have named her Margaret, but just left out the Linda part. Would have cut down on a lot of confusion. Yeah, I don't cook with sherry, alcohol of any kind, beer. I tried marinating a roast in beer one time because everybody said it's so good, and the recipe called for it. And I ended up throwing the roast away because I hated the taste of it. It just ruined that roast. I said, I'll never do that again. They have cooking sherry. Yeah, I'm sure they did. But I didn't have any, and I wasn't going to go buy a bottle of cooking sherry just for 1/4 cup. It's called Hunter Soup. Yeah, I know the alcohol cooks out of it and the taste is left, but I'm sure the beer alcohol content cooked out of that roast too, but it left that taste in it that just ruined it for me. I couldn't eat it. It just had the awfulest taste. I said, There's no way I'll ever cook with beer again because I don't like the taste that left on the meat. And Dennis doesn't cook without it. Yeah, but you cook it, you probably drink while you're cooking. You don't put it in your dish. Or maybe you do, I don't know. Well, see, my grandmother, her name was Helen Margaret. That's where I first got the idea of the Margaret from. And then my mom, her name was Gloria Helen. And I almost put Margaret Helen or Helen Margaret after my grandmother and my mom. But then I decided, well, I'll use my grandmother's name and my name. But I should have put Margaret Linda and then her last name. Instead, I put Linda Margaret. So, you know, they always go with that first name that's listed, no matter what you're called. But she's been Margaret her whole life. So I could have just left that Linda part off of it and it'd been fine. And there's Tamara. Hey, Tamara. How's Tamara doing today? Well, now the beer battered onion rings might be okay, but to put it on meat like I did, it just, ooh. It soaked in that roast, and that's all you tasted was that ooky taste of the beer, and it didn't even taste like beer. It gave it a bad taste. I didn't like it at all. Like I said, I threw the roast away. I said that was a waste of a good hunk of meat. I don't know where my grandmother got the Gloria from, but that's what my mom was known as. Her name was Gloria Helen. And we always everybody called her Gloria. Of course, she was mom to me, but. So I assumed that maybe my great grandmother or some of her family was named Gloria. I don't know that she got the necklace with the cat on it or not. I don't know if she's gotten it yet. But Janice said she didn't get her seed. I don't know. I would have sent them out the same time I sent out the prize for the drawing. Yeah, it's 66 degrees right now. And it's going to be fairly warm for the next almost 2 weeks. No freezing temperatures, which sounds really good. I hope this was our last freeze. I hope we don't get any more freezing nights. It's the Wisconsin Brockwish. The fur babies are loving it today. They ate breakfast and they went out. They've been out loving the sunshine all day. They have not even wanted to come back in. And I almost got out there and started doing stuff in the garden before my live, and I said, no, I better not. I'll wear myself out or I'll miss my live if I do, because I'll lose track of time if I get out there and start doing anything. In April, it gets cold on Easter. Well, it doesn't usually get cold here. It was so hot one Easter that my granddaughter's other grandmother put chocolate candy in the little plastic Easter eggs. And that's the one she hid in the yard for Alexander when she was little. And by the time she found all those little plastic eggs, all the chocolate was melted. And she said, well, I'll know if it's warm weather not to hide chocolate in the Easter eggs anymore. And then I think the very next Easter, it snowed. There was snow on the ground. And she laughed about it. She said, well, I could hide all the plastic Easter eggs today I wanted to with chocolate in them and not have to worry about it melting. Oh, you got a new plant at the nursing home, a spider plant. My mom used to have those, and they always grow so well for her. It's like you don't even have to water them. They just grow on the air. Oh, I forgot. Today is Tamara Aimling's birthday. Y'all wish her a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tamara. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Well, tonight it's going to be 30, I think it's going to be about 35, 38, something like that. But the rest of the week and going into next week, it's going to be in the 40s and 50s at night. So that's going to be good. Maybe my seeds in the greenhouse will sprout out. I just did sing happy birthday, Dennis. I had forgotten all about it being her birthday. Which prize, which was it that you did not receive? You said you got the candy. I guess that was from Valentine's. You said there was something you didn't receive. What was it? Because, oh my goodness, I've thrown away most of the receipts I got from the post office on a lot of that stuff I mailed because I assumed everybody got their stuff. Thank you, Uncle BB. Yes, I've grown avocado, started little trees from the seed, the pit, but they do not live inside very well here because they don't get sun. And if you leave them outside, the cold will kill them. They don't like cold weather. So I've started several throughout the summer, and they just live through the summer. You know, they've never been able to produce avocados because they weren't mature enough. Oh, you haven't got the kitty necklace yet. Well, you'll probably get it sometime this week. How do you get the seeds to start, though? Huh? Well, I've got little cups in trays out in the greenhouse now. I've got like 3 shelves filled with little seedling cups, and I've got different seeds in different trays trying to get them started. But we had one freezing cold night before I got the little heater to go out there. So unless some of the seeds froze and it'll keep them from germinating, I don't know. They should be coming up pretty soon. Oh, how did you get it started for the avocado? Well, you can take a jar, a little jar, or a glass. Take 3 or 4 toothpicks and stick in halfway through the avocado pit, and then set it in top on top of the jar lid, or not lid, but the opening of the jar. But you want the pit low enough that it touches the water inside the jar or the glass. And pretty soon that pit will crack open and a root will pop out. It takes it a pretty good while to do it. But most of them that I've ever started like that grew for me. And I threw a couple of avocado pits in the compost one time. And I had one of the avocado pits start growing in my pot outside. And it grew pretty. It was pretty that summer, but it died, as soon as cold weather came. Because they're tropical plants. They can't handle the cold weather. And if I'd have gotten enough sunlight in my house, it probably would have survived good. I mean, I could get them to live, but they looked so scrawny by the time it was warmer weather to put them back outside that it was hard for them to recover. I once grew petunias. They were tiny seeds. You just sprinkle the seeds on top of the dirt. Yeah, there's a lot of seeds like that. They're so tiny. Once they hit the dirt, you don't even know they're there. Kind of like carrots and some of these other things that you plant. You plant them and you don't realize how many seeds you put out till all of them come up. Then you got a couple of hundred plants. No, I've never been to a class reunion, Wilson. I wish I could have went to a couple of them. It would have been nice, but your cousin in New Brainfuls grows lemons. You plant the pit. Yeah, you can do that. The pits of the avocado, you can plant it. Sometimes it'll come up. As long as it gets enough moisture, it will. But I started a moringa tree and it grew 5 foot tall, but it died that winter because it can't tolerate the freezing cold temperatures. I have not been to one at all myself. Oh, the class reunion. My brother has, because they always have them close to my hometown in North Carolina. Whereas it's a 1,200-mile drive for me to go to my class reunion, so it can get expensive and it takes time. And if you got things going on at the house like your garden and stuff like that, you can't take the time off. Yeah, like I said, I threw a couple of avocado pits in the compost one year, and I didn't realize it, but the compost I put in one of the big blue totes or the pots out here next to the trellis. When I put the compost in that to plant my tomatoes, I had one of the avocado pits in the compost, and that avocado pit grew. I had a little avocado tree. It just didn't survive through the winter. I'd have a yard full of avocado trees if I could get them to survive out here. Yeah, New Brainfalls is not too far from here. I mean, it's a pretty good drive, but I don't think I've ever been there. And there's Judy Kirk. Hi, Judy. No, I don't think I did, Judy. I'll have to check. Is it an email or what? Was it on one of the videos you put a message or comment, or was it in an email messenger? I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up on this, but I'll see. No, my messenger don't work on this because I don't have phone service on it. I'll have to wait till like in my live to be able to check on it. Class reunions are the cliches. I'll pass, thank you. He's still going to school. Did you know that special ed students are not allowed to go to the class reunion? It's only the honor roll students that go. Well, that's crazy. I mean, any class reunion that I've ever heard of, the whole class went. Doesn't matter what your grades were. Oh no, Patty. Huh. Well, I went to a couple of family reunions. I couldn't go to all of them. My One of my uncles, when he was still alive, had a big barbecue reunion one year that it was at Easter and I couldn't go. But my mom had one at her house I was able to be at. And then I think my mom's birthday, when my brother gave her that luau and roasted that hog, that was like a family reunion to me because family came to that I hadn't seen in so many years. It was ridiculous. Your 50th is coming up. And my brother in North Carolina posts a lot of times about the class reunions, when they're going to be on Facebook. So I know when they are usually, but there are at times I can't go. And then a group of them will get together every once in a while and have dinner together. And he'll post that, when they're having their dinners. And I have not been able to get to that either. Well, I quit school and got married. And then later on, I went and got my GED and went to college. Graduated college. Now, I guess it's a good thing I did because that's why I know a lot about computers and stuff. I didn't like any of my classmates then, sure wouldn't like them now. Oh, Dennis. Well, that's sad. I mean, anybody in that class should be able to go to the reunion. Life is full of continuing. You don't want dinner or breakfast with them. Oh my. That's terrible. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's because I did so much in the yard yesterday in the garden that I was just dragging today. It's like I didn't want to do nothing. I mean, I got up, got me a couple of cups of coffee, watched a couple of videos on YouTube, took a shower, shampooed my hair, got dressed, come back in here and drank some more coffee and watched a couple more videos. That's about all I've done today, except feed the fur babies. Yeah, what about the walking onions? I don't know. I guess you were the one that was saying you wanted to buy some, but I got mine online. I don't know if it was at Esty or Gurney's Nursery or where they were. But it seemed like I paid about $12 or $15 for like 12 onions. And I'll have some that I could send people in the spring when they walk, but I don't have any little baby onions right now to send. Oh, you got 20 off of eBay. I don't think I ever thought about looking on eBay for them, but they were Egyptian walking onions. You have to be careful because a lot of them will say walking onions, but they're not really. If they say Egyptian walking onions, then you got the correct ones. Well, I went to the GED class. I went one class. And I opened the book and I said, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that book was like putting me back in first grade. It's like, I know this in my sleep, you know? So I just went in after that and I took the test and passed it. And my son did the same thing. No, he didn't even go one time. He said, Mom, I'm not going to class, but he said, I'll go in and take the test. I said, okay. So I made arrangements for him to go the next day in Weatherford and take the test at the college over there. He went in and he passed the test. He got his GED. I said, I didn't see any sense in going to class when I already knew. It was like first grade stuff, kindergarten. You know, it's like, you got to be kidding me. And there's Terry. Hey, Terry, how's Terry doing today? My daughter said she went in to take the GED and she said she couldn't pass it because of the math. You know, evidently they had fractions or something on there and she never did understand that. I'm still looking, but it's way too early to even think about buying or planting. No, you can plant them right now, Tamara. Those walking onions will live through freezing cold temperatures. They don't care. Once I plant my walking onions, they live all year. They're still there in the spring. I just turned that speaker off because it was starting to buzz. Yes, it says they are. Well, if they're Egyptian walking onions, you can get them right now and plant them. You don't have to wait. Well, as soon as the ground thaws up, you can put a hole. I didn't realize your ground was frozen. Well, mine was frozen until yesterday and today. Well, it was still frozen yesterday. It's not frozen today. But yeah, you can order them, and as long as you can dig a hole and plant them, you can put them in the ground right now. They don't care about the cold weather. They live right through it. I'm trying to get my feet warm up, LOL. Walked around without my warm house shoes today, too long today. Patty says her ground is still frozen. Sounds like me today. Well, I've got my bedroom sweaters because I usually wear them when I'm in the house because they're so comfortable, you know. But if I go out or go anywhere, I'll put my other shoes on. I don't work in my garden with my house shoes on. I was just thinking if you planted them now, you may have some that'll walk come this spring. And you'll be able to get the little baby seedlings off of them to plant and have more. Judy's in Florida, so it's safe to plant. Well, as long as the ground is not frozen and you can dig a hole to plant them. I wear socks inside the house. Yeah, sometimes I'll put on a pair of thick socks and just walk around with socks on my feet. Oh, we were just talking that about my son and daughter both went in to get GEDs. I went in and got my GED after quitting school to get married. Because you got to have your high school diploma to get into college. So I went in and took the test and got my GED. Yeah, onions will live through cold weather. That's one thing people don't understand. Like I planted my onions, what, a week or so ago before it even froze. They're fine. My walking onions are fine outside. They don't mind the cold weather. My cilantro is fine. It prefers the cold weather. So I know now when to plant my cilantro. In the fall of the year is when you need to plant cilantro. Because as soon as it warms up, it hits 80, 90 degrees, that cilantro is going to die off. It'll be too hot for it. I quit school and got married, Wilson. But I went back later to get my GED and so I could take college classes. Yeah, enrolled in college with the idea I was just going to take some computer classes because my surgeon told me to go take computer classes because that would be something easy with my neck and back injury. And I went for 5 years and I got a degree in computer science, information systems, and one in business. For all the good it did me. Most companies didn't want to hire me. They were afraid of me because they were afraid of what people that knew programming and computers could do. I mean, I've heard of people going in, getting mad at the owner. Maybe they were going to fire them or something, and they'd sabotage their computers to where they couldn't even use them and then left. Well, I never do that to somebody, but they don't know you, so they don't know what you're capable of doing. They'd rather have somebody that they know and trust. And, if they just met me walking in the door, they didn't know anything about me. They're not going to walk off your plate, Dennis. Like I said, the way what they say they're walking is when that little blob starts moving up the stalk. It looks like a pregnant onion blade. And it gets to the top and it bursts open. And it's a whole clump of little tiny onions. And that's your seed onions. And they'll start growing right in that clump on the top of that blade of onion. Yeah, you're in 5A. I'm in 8A. But the walking onions, the Egyptian walking onions, and a lot of the onions, they don't mind the cold weather. Like I planted all my onions before this freeze hit. They're fine. Yeah, you plant it in the cool weather. Plant it in the fall after the heat of the summer is gone. And cilantro, you want it in the summer because that's usually when you have your tomatoes to fix your tomato sauce or your salsa, and you want your fresh cilantro to go in your salsa. And that's the worst time to grow it. So, Diane says, I am 67. I was thinking I better than cry. What? And we got Mrs. Meyer in the house. Hello. I don't want anything that's pregnant either. Well, all you'll do is get a handful of onions, Dennis. You're not going to have to pay alimony on them. You just plant them and get tons more walking onions. I don't make sun tea. I tried that a few times, and I don't want to wait all day to get my tea. Janice says making tacos right now and have pico to put on them. That sounds good. Uncle BB said he planted talking onions and they were so fresh he pulled all up. Oh my gosh. Oh me. Y'all are crazy. Well, I was intrigued about Egyptian walking onions when I heard what they would do. And I said, I've got to get me some. I got to plant some of these onions. And now I got a million walking onions out there. I'm going to have so many little seed onions this summer. It's going to be ridiculous. I don't know where I'm going to put them all. I'll have to start raffling them off or giving them as trivia prizes or something. I sent some to somebody one time as the trivia prize. I don't remember who got them. I had a handful in a baggie that I sent them. Who was it that got the walking onions that year? Or that time for the trivia prize? Are they in here today? Because I don't remember who got them. Yeah, I'd rather just fix mine in my coffee maker. Let it steep in the coffee pot for a while and then pour it in a container. Now you're hooked. Yeah, I love my walking onions. I'll always have walking onions. But I got to quit buying regular onions and start eating my walking onions because they're going to be taking over the yard. Because you know when they walk and they produce all those little baby onions to plant, I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to plant them somewhere. Oh, really? Linda, I'm so proud of Jared. He did stand-up comedy last night at the diner. They paid him 25. Huh. Well, good for him. And Patty C made stuffed peppers last night. She's having them again tonight. Well, I'm in 8B. Like the San Antonio area, I think, is 8A, which is not a whole lot different. They just stay a little bit warmer than we do. Maybe 1 or 2 degrees warmer. Plant them in your neighbor's yard. Tell them I got so many offspring, I got to give them away. I can't support them anymore. Were you the one that got the walking onions, Patty? You said yes, me. I don't know if you were answering my question or not. And now I've planted I've got a whole clump of red onions I need to plant, and I've got to finish planting the rest of the yellow onions. I don't know why I bought more onions. I should have just got the red onions. Walk like an Egyptian. Yeah, it gets it gets hot up here too in the summer, Wilson. It gets 110, 115 degrees. That's pretty warm. I still can't pick up, Dennis. Yeah, and I haven't got any of my flower seeds started yet. I need to get some of those seeds in pots because I had flower seed last year that I never even started. I didn't even have any of them growing. I had so many different types of flower seed, and I really need to get some of them going this year. I think basically the only ones I had going last year was the marigolds and zinnias. No, nobody's blocked you, Dennis. I see your text. And I see Donna Placetia's comment too. Walk this way. Yeah, but I don't want to wait 4 hours for sun tea. I put it in my coffee maker and let it steep for a little bit, and I've got tea. Yeah, you got the onions. Are they growing good for you, Patty? Have they walked for you yet? If they haven't, they should walk this spring. And then you'll have so many onions you're not going to know what to do with them all. Well, there's some things I can start outside. Most things have to be started inside. But then next month you can start just about anything outside. You have some jalapenos you need to use up. Stuff them with cream cheese. Wrap them with bacon. Sounds like a winner. Oh my God, one onion is $3. Well, you definitely need some Egyptian walking onions. They grow great in pots. You'd be the talk of the nursing home if you had a small pot of walking onions, especially when they did their walking and had those little bursts of clumps of little baby onions. You could watch it go up the stalk and then burst open when it got to the top. Yeah, I don't have any problem seeing Dennis's comments. Nobody's been blocked that I know of. Nobody, Wilson. We've already been on here for an hour and a half. I'm not going to start playing trivia. But I need to think of another question to ask for the seeds. And I've been so busy talking and reading comments that I forgot about doing it. Yes, they're going. Well, like I said, if you plant your first walking onions, don't cut them. Just let them grow until the warm weather hits and they start walking and they start producing those little burst clumps of baby onions that you can plant. Then you can break those off and plant them right away. And then you can start eating the tops of your first ones you planted. Because they only walk one time a year. I didn't even pull my first onions that I planted that first year. I kept letting them grow and multiplying, and I'd cut some of the green tops off of them and use them. But now I can pull them up and start eating onions. I've got so many. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Just seeds. It'd be a surprise when you get them, I guess. What are you going to eat, Patty? That's what you just did. You made iced tea. Diana did. I've got to think of another question. I can't remember what videos I've put out. Oh, I got it. For anybody that watched my s'mores video, when I did my s'mores bars, what ingredient did I put in that recipe of s'mores bars that you don't usually put in when you make a s'mores bar? I put something in there. Huh? You've lost Dennis's comments a while back and you never recovered them. You can't see his comments now? Camera aiming. I can't believe I'll get the seeds sent to her. What seeds I'm sending, I don't even know what seeds I'm going to plant. I mean, send her. You write your name down, Tamara. But it was definitely Rice Krispies. That was me. You know, I'm always tweaking and changing recipes. And I put Rice Krispies in them. Fruity Pebbles. No, I don't even get Fruity Pebbles. Yeah, it was Rice Krispies, but Tamara Aimling already guessed it, so she's the one that won it. New pizza question. Oh, man. Woo. Now, you know, when you make s'mores, you always use graham crackers. I mean, graham crackers, marshmallows, and chocolate are the three most important ingredients in a s'mores. Ooh, me. I was asking what did I put in my s'mores that you don't usually put in s'mores. And it was Rice Krispies. I've never seen anybody put Rice Krispies in s'mores before except me. Yeah, but Tamara already guessed it way long time before you ever said it, Dennis. Tamara's the one, I mean, yeah, Tamara Aimling is the one that won. Look back in your chat and you'll see she was the very first one that popped up with it. What are you apologizing for, Edith? You don't have anything to apologize. Snap, crackle, and pop. Oh, me. I'm sorry, y'all, but I can't help yawning. I took that in my hair and then I ate that big bowl of Hunter's Hunter's chicken. I forgot the name of it. And the combination of all that is making me sleepy. Yeah, you need to see that. And I put mine back in the I sprinkled a few more of the butterscotch chips on top, and I put them in the broiler just long enough to brown the marshmallows a little bit so they look like they've been in the fire. And they're pretty good. I mean, they're rich, but they're good. I'm still eating them. And that's the last thing I need. Yeah, Tamara guessed the pizza sauce. Cindy says, I need a Snickers bar now. Thanks a lot for waking up my sweet tooth. You can't see Dennis's comments at all? I don't know why not. I mean, he's not been blocked. I see his comments fine. And as far as I know, everybody else sees them too. His last comment was, I know, Linda, just kidding. It's Donna's phone. I need a payday bar. I love payday bars. I used to growing up. I thought they were the best thing in the world. And Edith said she sees them. Oh, me. Yeah, I said I had to take today off after all the work I did yesterday. I mean, I'll go out and do a short video, just like tour of a garden, let you see what I did, and I'll post it tomorrow. But that's all I'm doing today. I'm just taking the day off. Talk about payday bars and s'mores makes me want to go over there and grab me one piece of one of the s'mores I've got, the s'mores bars. I need a cigarette and I don't even smoke. I need to see why you put Crackle Pop in them. Just because I wanted to. Remember Zagnut? What? I don't even know who that was. Never heard of them. I don't know. I haven't thought about what kind of seed I'm going to send her yet. It'll be a surprise. Oh, me. Whew, I cannot stop yawning, y'all. Maybe if I go then grab me one of those s'mores, it'll wake me up. I'll get a sugar rush. And there's vegan menu. How are you doing today? Yeah, these s'mores bars are pretty good. Peter Paul Almond Joy. Tamara's a Speedy Gonzales. Oh. Y'all look what I got. See what you made me do? Y'all keep talking about candy bars and s'mores and now I'm yawning. Get your s'mores bars and enjoy it. It'll wake you up. It'll give you a sugar rush. Almond Joys have nuts. Mounds don't. Yeah, and I'm eating s'mores. Fix vegan on my next video. Take a bite, y'all. Take a bite. See that gooey marshmallow right there? I want strawberry short ice cream. Shortcake ice cream. Yeah, look what you made me do. I've been thinking about getting a piece of this all afternoon. I have to pull it apart to put it in my mouth. I don't want to pull my teeth. When it gets cold, it's not as soft. Diana says, I'm going to get in the shower and do some crocheting after my shower. A good deal. You'll get a s'mores. You'll get a s'mores bar. Crochet a washcloth. Wonder if anybody's ever thought of doing that. I made banana bread with chocolate chips. Gonna eat some now. I've never made banana bread with chocolate chips in it. That sounds good. Okay, Tamara, you have a good night. Take care. Be safe. Stay warm. We'll see you on the next one. Well, I have crocheting and I need to finish up my quilt, my bedspread, but I don't usually have time. And when I take a day off like I did today, I don't feel like I'm not encouraged to even do that, so. I'm trying to pull this apart. Look at this. It was a lot easier to break it in pieces when it was warm. Cindy said her brother just called and is telling me jokes from Brother Dave Gardner records. It sticks to your teeth when it gets cold too, especially when you put butterscotch chips and chocolate chips in it. But it's good. Yeah, happy birthday, Tamara. This is good, but it's really rich. But putting the butterscotch in there with the chocolate chips, it makes it even better. And you can't even tell there's Rice Krispies in here. Stucky's pecan log. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Now my fingers are all sticky. I've ever had Claxton, Georgia fruitcake. I love fruitcake, but there's one fruitcake that you get that's a real little one, or you can buy a log of it, and I love that one. There's some of them that you get that are bigger ones, and they have some kind of big chunks of some kind of fruit in them that I don't like. I don't like the taste of some of the fruit that's put in them. It's not like it's fruit, it's something else. Walmart usually has the small fruitcake logs. They're about that long, about that big a square. They're the best ones I've ever found of fruitcakes. Oh goodness, we've been on here for almost 2 hours, y'all. Talking about food and onions. A little fruitcake that weighs 5 pounds. Well, these aren't the round fruitcakes. They're the little logs. They're about that long, and they're about, I don't know, 2 by 2 inches or 3 by 3 inches in diameter. But those are the best fruit cakes I've ever found. All right, Patty C, enjoy your meal. I know I'm making everybody hungry eating this s'mores in front of everybody. And I'm making a mess with it. Claxton is mini fruit cakes. I'm sorry, Donna. Have a piece. Take a bite of my s'mores. Yeah, it doesn't take long. I know I can fly from here to North Carolina, and the flight itself only takes about 3.5 hours. But it's the switch over. You land in Charlotte, and then you have to get on another plane, and that makes it take longer. But the flight itself is only about 3.5 hours. That gets me into Wilmington. Linda, your mukbang. What do you mean mukbang? I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Jay. What happened to what video? How's Jay doing today? Or was it? I didn't know that's what you called it. I guess eating on camera is a no-no, huh? Hungry fat chick does it. What? Okay, Diana, I'm glad you could come by this afternoon. You have a blessed night. We'll see you next time. Sleep tight tonight and don't let the bed bugs bite. I guess we should end this video anyway. It's been 2 hours we've been on here. Where did that statement come from, Uncle BB? Hungry fat chick does it. What? Did that just come out of the blue or what? Okay, guys, I'm going to end the video, I think. I think a lot of people have other things to do. They've got dinner to take care of. They have things to do on a Sunday afternoon rather than sit here and listen to me run my mouth. You can take a taxi to Dennis's house. That would be pretty expensive. Your hubby's cooking pinto beans. That sounds good, Ann. Okay, we'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a blessed night. Have a good day tomorrow. Have a good night's sleep. Stay safe. Stay warm. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.